when you speak about the Bible, and you speak about God,
Okay.
and you read about the story of Adam and Eve in the
Okay.
garden,
Okay.
and the tree that was in the midst of the tree that was instructed to Adam not to go near.
Okay.
Now you imagine there's a tree that's in the garden of good and evil. Well, there's no trees that are growing today that are good and evil.
Okay.
So it has a deeper meaning, a
Sure.
different understanding.
Sure.
And he was instructed not to go near that tree. And so he was given Eve.
Okay.
Now, when Eve went about to that tree.
Okay.
And there was a serpent that supposedly sit there. Well, a serpent, he goes back and forth, as he moves, travels back and forth. He doesn't travel in a straight line, And so the serpent slipped up on her, convinced her to eat of the fruit, explained to her, oh, if you eat of it, understand that your eyes open and in other words, you'd be like God.
Okay.
And so she took of it or whatever, and then she took it back to Adam.
Okay.
And so they both ate of it, whatnot. Then if you notice, something happened to both of them. And then God came.
Okay.
And if you notice, they say they what? Heard the footsteps of God walking through the garden. And they went and hid themselves
Okay.
because they knew they had done wrong.
Okay.
And the God had what he had done. But he had ate of the tree. And the first thing, what did Adam, the first thing he did? He blamed the woman that God had given him.
Right. She
He
did
blamed
it.
the woman
She did it.
God had given him.
Right.
It was that woman you gave him.
She did it. Right. She did it.
So this is all playing into the way we are today. Those words are we're living them today.
Ah,
When you think about this, Queen, you can go out any time of night in our community, and you'll see our sisters out there all times of night. You'll see them, understand, in the club, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really not really protected.
Mm-hmm.
When you have something as valuable as a woman, you can't allow her to be out in the midst of a world like this.
Ah.
You got to be as a man.
Well, say that, King. Hold on one second. Stay there for a second, because I need Rock to chime in on this. Do you believe that black women feel that they need to be protected? He made a point of, and you're right. If you go out at any other time, if you're trying to take an early morning flight, or if you're going to work early, or coming out in preparation for the show, I can see women at the gas station by themselves, at the bus stops by themselves, and I just wonder. Do women even feel that they need to be protected? Or do they not even think about it because it's not even an option?
Well, here's the deal. Feeling as if you need to be protected
Okay.
and knowing that you need to be protected is subjective. It's all about your perspective.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So if you don't feel you need to be protected,
Right.
you may not have been indoctrinated into knowing that you need to be protected. So, because I always have to go back to the beginning as far back as I possibly can.
Okay.
God said it's not good that man should be alone.
Right.
So therefore, if a companion was made, and if man was given dominion over the garden, if we're just going Bible here,
Yeah, just go Bible.
if we're going Bible here,
Yes.
Adam was given a position. And his job was to be the caretaker of everything that was placed. That includes Eve. So modern day, if it's a man and a woman and you're married, it is your... Look, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm just going to put
Come
it as
on,
far as
Rock.
me.
Okay.
My wife, she always tell me, she's like, look, you're going to find yourself on the other side of the law. I'll be like, look, I'm going to do what I have to do to protect you.
Right.
Regardless if you feel
Right.
like you need it or not.
Right.
I'm going to do what I am naturally born to do.
Well,
and I'm going to take care of you in every manner that I possibly can. And if that is protection, you didn't have to ask me for it. It came with the package when you married me.
It came with the package. Did y'all get that? But maybe so many women, hey, we don't have the package because we aren't married.
Feeling the need.
We're not. So is that what it is? So do we not get the protection because we're not married, Rock? Oh, I don't think about that, King. What do you think about that question? Do women not get the protection because they don't have the covering of a man under matrimony?
You know, I would say it goes back again. The condition that we were put in of 400 years of servitude.
Okay.
In other words, as men, we were never brought up to take care of a woman or to maintain a woman. In other words, our job was only to procreate. That was our job. No feelings, no emotions. This went on for hundreds and hundreds of years. That was passed on through the genes, through the DNA or whatever. That mindset. And so those that engineered it, they understood what they were producing. And so when you think about this, Queen, we are in somebody else's world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, a world is a system.
Yeah.
It's not the earth.
Yeah.
It's a system. It's a mindset
Yes.
that the system controls.
Yes.
And so when you talk about Christ, when people want to talk about Christ,
Yeah.
what is the one thing that Christ say he comes back? He comes back for the minds of his people. Why? Because his people, minds will be in another man's mind. Meaning you would think like the very people who have conquered you,
Okay.
who have subdued you. You would think like them. You would act like them. You would eat like them. You would walk like them. You would live like them.
Wow.
This is the way we are.
Wow.
And until we think in terms of producing our own world,
Okay.
because this world ain't working for us, we dine at a state. We're number one on everything that's negative. We're number one on all the lists.
Okay.
From cancer to losing homes, losing we are number one now. We are number one on all the bad things. We are number one. That ain't just no coincidence. That's been designed.
And you know what, King? And I want Rock to comment on that. And we appreciate your call today, as always. Rock, I want you to
Love
speak.
you, Queen.
Have
Love
an
you,
amazing day. I love
Have a
you.
blessed day.
What do you think about that?
No,
Right.
well, first of all, he makes an interesting point about
Yeah.
the conditioning. Yes, there is a conditioning process that happened in slavery.
Yes.
Your natural state of being a man to be the provider and a caretaker,
Yes.
and to provide safety to your spouse and your offspring, that was natural. There was conditioning process to make you stop doing that.
Yeah.
The same way that you would do an animal or a dog.
Right.
Once most animals, the male, once they've done any type of procreation, they're off to whatever life they want to go live,
Right.
while the mother is left there to tend and fend for. So what happens is Africans were conditioned to that sense.
Yeah.
But I would tell you this, there's always a remnant of people. There's always a remnant. The Bible says, let this mind be in you, which is in Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
So if I know what right is, and right has been instilled in me, I will shine and break through the conditioning that I've been placed in.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Look, all of us were born into some mess.
Right.
If you was born
Right.
anywhere
Yeah,
in
you
the
was right.
60s, 50s,
Something.
60s, 70s,
Right.
you was
Right.
born into some mess,
Some
but
mess.
somehow you shine through.
Yeah.
And I can speak to that being a product of someone where their dad didn't raise them.
Right.
How did I become the man how did I become the man that I am today if my father was not in place? God saw fit that he put men around me and still gave me examples.
Yeah.
How did I become the man today if my mom was not in place, God rest her soul, due to unfortunate situation?
Yeah.
So my point is,
Yeah.
that which God has placed in us,
Come on.
we have to lean on and have faith, okay?
Yeah.
And we will rise, cream rises to the top.
Right.
We will rise to the top. We will perform. We will act and perform in the manner in which God had us to do.
Right.
It's not going to be perfect all times.
Right.
So women, please have patience with us. We're not going to be great all times.
Right.
But I'm trying.
He's speaking for himself. He just said, wife, look, he just work with him. And Rock, you're right, but let me just say, so now I'm going someplace else. Look, caller, we're about to get to you. Don't go anywhere. And I get that. But there's so many of us who will never crack open our greatness.
Ooh.
And I'm just going to say that's the truth of it. That God has been in us. God's been knocking at the door. It's our spirit in us. Been trying to say, I'm over here.
Okay.
Open this up. But we choose not to. I mean, what's that whole little joke they say? Was it when someone gets to heaven and they were walking by and they saw these boxes with their names on it?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, what's that? They're like, no, don't ask. Like, you don't want to know. Yeah, I want to know. Well, that's what all the blessings and everything you could have had if you asked for it.
Right.
And so many of us, I believe, are so caught in fear that we will never be the fullness of who we can be in Christ. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking
Understood.
about a spirituality, a connection, because of all that other stuff that's blocked it. The traumas from childhood, the traumas that you never address, the inability of believing that you can't love, that you can't be loved, that you can't communicate in a certain way, that all these things that we create,
Yeah.
these narratives that we create, these false narratives that can
Yeah.
all have solutions to them, it takes a lot to address that.
Mm.
And so a lot of us take that to our grave with not being the best that we can be in the truthfulness of it, because I don't believe that we think we can.
My God, that's serious, and there's a lot of truth into that.
Okay.
I would say this
Okay.
because I always like to, when you make a sandwich, usually sandwiches pieces of bread,
Right, right.
So on the other side of that sandwich, I would say this because I like to hold myself accountable.
Right.
Okay. The old adage says, when you know better, you do better.
Yes.
So when you know better when you're an influencer, okay, it's incumbent upon you to stay in the fight and long suffer. Watch this. To your people. And this is, I think since we started the second segment,
Yeah.
we're tying into going into Freestyle Friday.
Yes.
But guess what? We can't give up. Some people do have hurts and pains that have stayed with them for the longest. I get it. We can't burn ourselves out trying to make somebody be all the greatness that they were supposed to be.
Right.
But as much as we can say that, we have to also say, I'm still not gonna give up on you.
Sure.
I'm still not gonna give up on you. And no matter, what has become popular today is okay, I don't want to poke any fun.
Say it.
I'm just gonna say the me movement.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Me Too movement, but I'm not
Right.
gonna say that. It's
No.
the me movement.
Yes.
It's taking care of me
Me.
living my best life.
Me.
So therefore, if I have to, whatever you're going through, I'm gonna classify it as negative. And I think that is such a shortcut and a cop-out.
Okay.
Addressing it the way you addressed it, absolutely. Some people are gonna go through long periods of hurt and never be as great as they could be.
Yep.
But they also have to be told, I'm not gonna give up on you. And going full circle, Big Mama, she ain't never give up on us, right?
She didn't.
Where will we be?
But so maybe the bigger point, though, is that there are boundaries in that, though. Because
Absolutely.
there are certain people just long suffering and think you should just be there forever. And you hope, so I had a conversation, I'm about to go to the line,
Okay.
that a gentleman that I was totally fond of, and he told me, he said, look, I'm not ready now, but you should just wait. And I said, well, wait for what? Wait for you to finally determine what it is he said, well, you would be settling anyway, so you should just wait. I said, and so you have no idea of this timeline of when you'll be ready, but I'm just supposed to wait until hopefully one day you'll be ready, and then when you're ready that you will choose me? Yes. Go to the line. Great Friday. So you see, Rock was speechless. He couldn't even speak on that. That's some old shenanigans. Great, amazing morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is that me?
Yes, it is you.
Girl, I love you. I'm sorry. Lady, I love you.
Oh, I love you.
Good morning to you and your guests.
Hey, good morning.
I set my clock
Yay!
to wake up to you.
Thank you.
I just got two questions. Your show has been so amazing. I hope I can collect my thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Aretha Franklin's funeral, eulogy. Everybody's talking about that brother that gave that eulogy,
Yes.
and because he didn't give the eulogy that they thought he should have given.
Yes.
It's a controversy.
Yes.
Has anybody ever thought about Aretha Franklin? You say she was an activist and a conscious woman and da-da-da-da-da. She talked to that brother. She talked to that brother for years.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that she didn't tell him her trials and tribulations about raising black boys? Who's to say she didn't tell that brother, look, when they give my funeral, everybody's going to talk about respect and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
You use my funeral to get across to my black brothers and sisters about the family and coming home. Who's to say she didn't say that to him? And everybody's talking about how he disrespected her.
Right.
You don't know what Aretha told that brother. Nah, that girl, that lady Malvo,
Yeah.
made that statement that where was all the brothers
Yeah.
when he was disrespecting her?
Yeah.
Where is she at
Yeah.
when that Caucasian man disrespected Serena Williams?
Ah.
And y'all have an amazing day.
Oh! She hit it on the drop the mic. You have an amazing day. Okay, so touch it. So great point. You absolutely don't know what the conversation was.
Come on now.
And you're absolutely right.
Excellent
Aretha could have
point.
said, you know what? You show right. You got all these people.
Yes.
It's going to be international because I know that I've worked hard at
Yes.
my craft to be able to have this platform, and I might want you to give it to me. But interesting enough, he never disclosed that. If indeed that were the case, he never disclosed that, you know what? I mean, like you just said, everyone has trials and tribulations. To raise four?
Yeah.
Four?
Yeah. Now it's so interesting because peace to the queen. Look, not steal her thunder, but
No.
I had the same thought.
Really?
I did. I had the same thought for that pastor to have done multiple eulogies for
Yeah.
that
Family. Great point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Aretha wasn't stupid, silly, dumb.
No.
By far.
No.
It would be foolish of us to think that she did not have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
She seems like a planner.
Right.
She seems like a
Right.
forward thinker.
Right.
So Aretha could have
Right.
clearly laid out some things and said, hey, hit on XYZ.
Yeah.
So now, once again, the Bible talks about in Corinthians, we only know in part. So it just amazes me when everybody think they have the whole story
Right.
of anything
Great
and
point.
want to run with it.
Great
You
point.
don't. It's insulting to Aretha Franklin to think that a woman that owns her masters,
Right.
a woman back in those times. We want to talk about strength.
Right.
That's her, the embodiment. So we have to give her that kind of respect.
Yeah.
For her. Look, that was linked up. Now,
Great point.
if her children
Right.
was not part of the
And they
inner
didn't know.
circle
Yeah.
to know,
Yeah, the kids didn't
Come
know.
on now.
Great point. That's a great. God, see, that's why we have to have these
the
conversations.
queen made a great point.
She made a great point, and then to her second point, well, where is Juliana Malvo talking about the disrespect for Serena Williams?
Ooh.
You don't hear that conversation.
Quiet.
Crickets. I love it. Rock the lines and lit. You want to keep going?
Yes,
Let's keep
yes.
going. Great, amazing morning to you.
Amazing morning to you also.
Thank you.
I had so much to say,
Okay.
but now all I'm going to say is this is a great show. Your guest is great, and your callers have been great. I mean, they all have brought out good points, and I just love Brother Jihad because he put you on a different thought process.
Right.
So I had a lot to say, but I ain't saying nothing now. It's all been said. You just have a great show, and I love you.
Oh, I
and
love
have
you
an
back.
amazing day.
Oh, thank you. You have an amazing day as well. I mean, do you all understand how important, Rock, you don't understand how important that is to me.
Yes.
The conversations that we have.
Yes.
And this platform that we've been giving to have the conversations. Because I could just sit up here. I told you, I've had conversations with other hosts, and they said, Collette, you really don't want to open up your lines.
Okay.
And I said, well, why wouldn't I? Because you can't control. You all don't get this. Like, there's no pre-screening, right? Who calls and when that first time we hit the button, that's when it's on. It's live and in color. It's no, only choose line 3, only go to line 1. It's none of that.
Yeah.
So I got Collette, you might not want to do that because you might not be able to control the conversation. I said, but that's what I want.
Right.
This is not just Collette talk time. It's not talk with Collette. It's coffee and conversation with Collette.
That's right.
So that means we have to have some kind of dialogue.
That's right.
And that's what I want. Our conversations make us better. It's not just me thinking about something and then I just want to bend your ear on it, right?
Absolutely.
And as you see, people like to talk. So let's go to the line. Okay, let's keep it going. Thanks for your patience. Great morning to you. Ooh,
Okay.
I lost your caller. Okay, we lost you. 2 lines are lit. If you guys weren't able to get through, please give us a call, 313-868-0342 or 313-868-0351 or 868-4336. So, Rock, I'm going to give you some time since we have a little break.
Sure.
What is it that you wanted to present today? Because we had a couple different angles that we could go, and I don't want to have this time where I don't give you that platform to say specifically if I wasn't able to incorporate it.
I'm so engaged in what's going on right
Ah,
now. It's
okay.
like, because you're really pulling on the heartstrings and you're intellectually stimulating the callers. Everyone who's listening, they're ready to chime in, or if they're not chiming in with a point, they want to be a part of it and say, hey, look, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, hey, kudos to you.
No, that's it. That's it. No. Everyone knows, if you didn't know, I pray. I don't take anything for granted.
Yes,
As you and I
yes.
share off the air as well. And I pray that God provides education, enlightenment, and empowerment in this time, through this airway, so that we are all better and that we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something in these conversations that you're going to say, aha.
Absolutely.
Maybe it could be this. Maybe what I thought I could rethink.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Absolutely.
That's all. I don't tell anyone they're wrong. We don't do that on this show.
Yeah.
Because because you are a product of your experience.
Absolutely.
So I can't sit and tell you how you feel and what you think is wrong.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you that. Now, I can present a different perspective
Yes.
based on my experience
Yes.
and maybe my education and all those things that maybe will cause you to look at your situation, but never to take away from what you believe
Absolutely.
and your truths.
Absolutely. Just to go ahead and add to what you're
Sure.
saying, being that that's Freestyle Friday.
Yeah.
I believe we started off great, and it's going to segue into a couple of things I wanted to speak about, and I'm going to lean heavily upon your expertise because one of the things you said, hey, look, all things go to politics for me.
Yeah. Go to politics. For me.
And I just believe I want to have a question and a conversation, a dialogue about how do we raise political leaders in our midst, okay? And also speak and hit on servant leadership because that's highly important. Because I feel you operate in that position. I would like to believe that God has blessed me with a grace to operate in that position as well.
Sure.
But first, let's start with grooming
Sure.
and political leaders in our midst.
Nice.
I was reading Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson.
Absolutely.
And he was saying there's the vertical levels or tiers,
Yes.
if you will, of building a community.
Yes.
And the first one was the first level was economics. Very powerful. We highly underrated.
Yes.
He was mentioning things, build businesses where you dominate
Where
as
you
far
are.
as population.
Yes.
Cater to your people.
Yes.
Let your dollar circle 8 to
Yeah.
9 times
Yeah.
in your own community.
Yeah.
Get a strong economic base.
Yeah.
Can you probably know already, but just to the listeners,
Sure.
who can guess what the second level was?
Listeners,
Who can guess what the second level was?
are you good?
Now
We'll just tell them.
I'll just go ahead and say
Yeah.
it. It was politics.
Come on.
Now some will find that to be amazing.
Yeah.
Why not? And the other levels are law enforcement. The next level was media.
Yeah.
And the last level, if I'm not mistaken, was education.
I was going to say.
Education. So with
I
that
was
being
looking it up.
said,
Okay.
some would have put education probably at the bottom. Because
Yeah.
now in pop culture, people got books, they're holding them to
Sure,
their
sure,
ear.
sure.
Everybody want to be educated or
Sure.
something. The old adage, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Economics.
Yeah.
I'm
Money.
telling people, come on now.
Money.
It makes things happen.
Money.
People want to use disparaging and misquotes as far as, money is the root of all evil. And
Right. Love of money.
don't have money and see
How's it
how
working?
far you gonna make it.
Right.
I understand grace.
Sure.
I understand favor
Sure.
better than most. I
Sure.
get it.
Sure.
Favor got me on this platform.
Sure.
So I understand that.
Yeah.
Money keeps this whole place running.
Thank you.
All right?
Yeah.
So, but with that being said,
Yeah.
getting to the point, politics, political leaders. It always amazed me, Collette, and please join in after I say this.
Okay.
I always say to myself, we as a people, African Americans,
Okay.
how do we really truly expect to move forward in the political scene
Sure.
as it pertains to law, statutes, things of that nature,
Sure.
if we are not thoroughly backing candidates after our own likeness.
Sure.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, please
Okay.
join in.
Okay.
I believe we are extremely too splintered.
Okay.
Splintered meaning
Okay.
if you're running for office,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the fact that if you're African American.
Okay.
African Americans have been conditioned that, you know what, this Asian man over here, this Caucasian woman over here,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go for whoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
just leave you to struggle
Yeah.
to try to get the African American vote.
Vote.
I just question how do we really expect to go further? So and that, what that says to me is there's no
Nice.
true grooming
Nice.
of our own political leaders.
Sure.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
No. I totally agree. Did y'all get Rox and I? Rox about to go and he about to go somewhere. I totally agree that there's no grooming. But the truth is, I don't even believe that we have to. And let me say that. And the reason why I say that we have to is because what do I always talk about? Rock, I talk about a Geppetto and a Pinocchio.
Okay.
And the truth is, in my mind, that all the political folks, the politicians, are Pinocchios to an ultimate Geppetto. So that's the person who controls you. And the person who controls you is the one who controls the money. So the truth of, at the end of the day, that our power comes from PACs. I believe that. Whereas everyone wants to sit and talk about this one person that's going to lead you, that person is going to talk. We can sit and talk about that all day. Okay. Once I cross the threshold into the political arena, I'm controlled by lobbyist dollars. Yes. I'm controlled by money in the coffer. I can have a passion for all this stuff as much as I want to, but I will go with the mandate of who cuts me a check. That is how politics work. Mm-hmm. So don't get it twisted. If you want to be a community activist, you go right on ahead. You groom them.
Okay.
But as a political circle, power is money. Yes. So I believe that while we're sitting up here constantly trying to choose me, elect me, for what? You don't have any influence. You walk wherever you gonna walk, you get a job. You got a paycheck. That's all you get. And you will be told what to do. We see it right now with Detroit City Council. They're told what to do by the mayor. Okay. They don't take their power as a strong council. Everyone tells me, oh, well, it's a strong mayoral form of government. Well, if you look at the mandate of what a mayor is supposed to do, that's the administrative function of a city. That's not the legislative power. The legislative power is the juice, and that comes from council. Mm-hmm. Same thing from your state rep to your state senator positions up to Congress. Mm-hmm. The legislation is the juice. But if you have nothing that controls the legislation, because we don't know about legislation, we sit and do protests without policy. Mm-hmm. We can sit and protest, but you can't create the policy because you don't have the money to change the policy. So I could care less about people asking me, well, Collette, why don't you run for office? Why? I don't need to. My juice is creating a PAC, a political action committee, and securing money, because then I'm going to tell you what to do for us. You're not going to tell me no, because that's America. Yeah. There's not the ideology. And Dr. Anderson, absolutely, Black Labor, White Wealth. Yeah. I'm a steward of all of his books. Absolutely. But we can't get to building the paradigm. I believe he meant politician in the sense of you have someone in your pocket to do your bidding. Yes. Not the person. Yes. And how do you get them in? And see, we don't like that because that gives our power away. See, we feel bad about that. Yeah. Well, what you mean you bad at people? White people do it all the time.
All the time.
The Koch brothers, why do you think they're so successful? Yes. They have a whole lobbying entity. They have a whole packet of legislation that they pay to disseminate in legislative components across this country and push the money for you to push their legislation. Mm-hmm. That builds their products, that builds their businesses, that builds their tax incentive. That's what they do. Yeah. Because they know in order to grow my money, my revenue, mm-hmm. legislation has to be on my side.
Now, let me add this in there. Because now, when I talk about grooming political leaders, mm-hmm. not so much that leader is the isolated leader that's going to lead us to the promised land, but in the sense of there has to be a person of some type of intellect. There has to be a person of some type of understanding that I believe, because I see it the same as anything else. Because if you own a business, you understand what I'm saying? And you want that, even if it's a mom and pop shop and you want it to continue to prosper, you bring in your children. Or you bring in some neighborhood kids or whatever the case may be. I have to teach you the business. I like what you're saying because you're echoing exactly what Dr. Anderson has said. Financial, economics. Guess what? I can support you financially to do our bidding. And if I'm not mistaken, America pretty much is founded on a principle just like that. So what I'm saying is, even though I don't have to have you to be my savior, be it male or female, mm-hmm. but you have to come from us. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. And say there. And I guess, and I agree with that, but and now I'm going to throw a little thorn in it.
Go ahead.
But the truth is, where has that gotten us? Bless his soul, Dr. King, orator, educator, and the like, the last year and a half of his life, because it stands for the Vietnam War, we all walked away from him. He was broke. He was isolated. He was desolate. He was depressed. And then he was assassinated. I mean, how many leaders can we name? Charismatic, all of those things. You can get into a room, you can rally the crowd, and then you walk out the room and everybody's broke. Everybody's still broken. We're all still poor. You understand the process, but we're still not in the room for the process. That's like the spook that sat by the door, Sam Greenlee. So we might get in the room, but we don't even understand how to move through the room. We can't create anything by being in the room. So for me, a grown politician can get in the room. Yes, because I have a title and I'm in the room. And then once I'm in the room, what am I going to do? Because I'm still beheld to who writes my check.
Yes.
I don't care what anyone says. I can get in the room and I can be the best orator and I can state the position, but my action comes with who has submitted the check to push the legislation.
So you're still putting that call out there saying, groom all you want to, but you better have some financial backing to control the person that you...
But we don't want to be Geppetto. There's a whole lot that comes with a Geppetto. That's like the eyes. Everybody want to go to get some courage and get a heart and get a brain. And we so excited about going down the road, we afraid to be the eyes because we constantly trying to go to somebody to give us something. But you don't realize you can be the eyes. We don't want the eyes. We can't handle the eyes. But we just want to be on the road. We going to get equality one day. And we going to get freedom one day. And we going to get, how we going to get it? We keep going down the road. It's like the mouse in the trap. And you constantly looking for the cheese. Joker, make a new trap. But you constantly putting yourself in their scenario, expecting a different result. That's insanity.
So would you agree when I said that we are too splintered? Because everything that you're saying...
I agree with that too.
Sounds like
I agree with that too.
We need to be unified.
Yeah, but we can't. Because all of we want to do is determine who's going to be the boss.
Is it we can or we don't want to?
Both.
Okay.
Get us all in a room right now. Everyone, we'll all get into a room.
Okay.
And then we'll be mad and divided about who's going to be the leader
of
the group. And we don't have nothing in the room, though. But I'm going to fight you because who's going to get up there to do the call to worship? And who's going to say the opening prayer? And who's going to create the agenda?
You went over your time.
Hey, what? Yeah, what? What's that have to do with anything? So we want to walk around and be so important. Y'all realize it's easy to be important when you the big fish in the little pond. We ain't getting in the oceans. We in the ponds. And we think we doing something in the pond. And then we get mad because we see, just take Detroit, for example. Let's talk politics.
Okay.
Take Detroit, for example. See all these people down, Dan Gilbert, and he got another startup coming. He's done Sims and created all this. And then the 7.2, y'all know what the 7.2 is. That's the mileage rate from downtown to the boulevard, that everything that they're developing. We're not a part of that. And then we get mad. Well, they don't include us. Who's going to include you? Oh, Collette, well, back in the day, they wouldn't let us buy the building. If you ain't smart enough to understand the games of those who oppress you to do exactly what they do, so that means you should have got your monies together. How many little churches we got around here that didn't put their monies together in their own credit union? We can't do that, but you've been with Comerica for 80 years and still can't get a loan. And we can't all get together, put our money somewhere, and then put a white person in front of the face and go down there and buy up some stuff. Because we all were classes, remember? So it was that little class. So it was a group of those of us who've had access, and we get our little monies, and then we put on our little friends, and that's what we do with everybody else, and we still do it to this day. It's a name recognition. Jokers don't have to do anything, but it's a name recognition. Those are the ones that get the jobs. Those are the ones that get the contracts, and you still don't have wealth. You got some money, but you don't have wealth.
Right.
And then when you die, there's no legacy and inheritance that you've left to your children. So we can't even groom the people to replace the people. Where's the grooming for Conyers, if you just really want to talk about grooming?
Yeah.
You didn't have a son, a daughter, a dog in the race that says, okay, I done followed your tutelage, and I'm going to step right on in. Because we want the titles. We want the power. What power already you have.
Now, this isn't the first time I've asked a question. I've gotten similar, but not as deep. You're really giving it. And now that's why I felt it was important for this Freestyle Friday, as you said, in this climate that we're in. Because you know what's interesting to me? And what really sparked for me to want to ask this question, I was looking at one of the news, conglomerates and stations, and
Sure.
and a former member of the president's cabinet, President Trump's, and these people that follow him, they're ready to go. They going down with they're falling on their sword, so they can continue to stay connected. But what I saw of that is a certain amount of loyalty, that unity that you're speaking of, not in the instance in the way they're doing a lot of back channels and things like that, but nevertheless it's still unity.
Absolutely, because they haven't removed him. If it would have been President Obama, he would have been gone after the first month.
Yeah.
But no matter how disastrous Trump is, he is still a white man in America with power.
And those who desire to be connected to him, they understand that, and they're not gonna let little penny ante things. Because if you ever noticed, only the people that's really complaining about him, as far as Caucasians, are the ones who are not at his status, or if they're at his status as far as financially, they just have another niche where they're making money, i.e.
That's it.
Nike.
And I can say something, because all of it is still going to leverage me. I'm still being leveraged, you guys.
Yeah.
Even if I'm against you, then I'm going to write a book, and because it's attached to you, but then everybody want to get so mad at Omarosa. Oh, you're not going to support Omarosa and this, that, and the other. Are you serious? Why couldn't she have the juice to be behind those walls and no other person of color is to that degree, and then record you and drop the bombs on you day in and day out and create some kind of wealth? But we the main one. Oh, Omarosa can't get her black card back and she's not going to be in the community. Do you think Omarosa cares about being a part of the community again? If you accept her or not. That's not what this is about. But then we still sit up here fighting about positioning. Right.
Yeah.
I just think that. And then we wonder why in this political climate, why we still have the same thing we have going on. Because we consistently do the same thing.
Yeah. So in other words, it's possible. We can do it, but what you're saying is these are the roadblocks that we're still facing.
Us.
These are the us.
Us. I told you, I had a great conversation with a prominent Jewish lawyer. I asked him, I said, how are you all able to be so successful? He said, because we can't be divided.
Wow.
He said, when we're together, we can disagree. Everyone's clear about your position. But when it's time to walk out that door, we're a united group. He said, that's why, Collette. And that's our problem right now. We so busy fighting each other for nothing. And then when you walk out the door, the knife's already in you. Now I want to turn it. How's that? And then we mad because we don't have anything. Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. There you go. So if you want to know how it's doing, and all the lines are lit, and we're so sorry, and I know we got 2 minutes left, so I want to give you a chance to wrap up. I appreciate you, all the callers. We appreciate you today and your insight. And our time is up, Rock.
Yes, yeah. Where did time go?
It flies when you're having fun. How funny time flies when you're having fun.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate the
Always.
platform.
Always.
And look, I pray to God that everybody was stimulated and received something.
Yes.
Because this was the conversation, this was the dialogue, but yet with all conversation and dialogue, action must take place.
Come on.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I pray that we got that today.
Absolutely. And so how do we continue to follow you to have those conversations?
Continue to follow me at Speak Rock at SPEAKROC.
Yes.
That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I have a YouTube channel. That's
Nice.
Speak Rock, SPEAKROC.
Nice, everybody. And he's going to be here. As long as his
Yes.
schedule permits, he's traveling and he's doing all this stuff. Here we go. If we can have him the second
Absolutely.
Friday, you're more than right. Absolutely couldn't have had it without you.
It's already pending.
It's already in. I needed that's not penciled, pen. Everyone, our time is up. So appreciative of you on this Friday, as every Friday, that you just give us to be able to have the conversation that we pray that you are educated and enlightened and encouraged. Everyone, if you want to continue, this Sunday is Women's Day at New Destiny Christian Fellowship, right at 12048 Grand River. Last year I was a speaker for Women's Day. This Sunday I am the worship leader. And we have Kenyatta Wilborn, who's going to be the Women's Day speaker. So I'm going to be up, praying that God works through me and to be able to have an amazing experience of lessons to grow and to be better. And so I just extend the invitation, as I always do to you, as we do on our weekend times together. I just want you in all aspects of my life. So I appreciate you. Continue to make today amazing. Be the best that you can be. Make your moments matter. Have an amazing rest of the day. Have a phenomenal weekend. We'll see you next week.